Hello, this is a Discord bot that I made for a Discord role-playing community, and it basically uses saved player data, tracks it, and manages it over a fight. So let's get started. You can pull up the commands using help. There are explicit commands, and then there's one that uses natural language understanding in order to use. For the explicit commands, we can basically see things such as all the characters that it currently has loaded into its database. And you can add in more characters as new people join and make new characters. You can also look at specific types of characters. For example, I could say show Karn here, and we can see a bunch of information that was pulled up. Additionally, you can do something called claiming characters. I'm going to claim Arya. And I can also show my claimed characters. For claimed characters, what you can do is you can essentially give them stat points. So I can say give points, and I can say to Cliff, Arya, and they now have points. So if I show Arya again, she has 2 unspent stat points that I can then add using health, power, or magic. And it'll ask if I would like to confirm or deny it, and I have to specify the character if I have multiple. I'm going to say sure, and here we can see the change occurring for Arya's stats, how that got instantly changed. And this allows people to manage their stat points, and it also allows for people to give out points in like a large way. So like admins can control it for who gets what points during the campaign, and then allows for individual players who have claimed a specific character to allocate their points when they have time to do so. Additionally, no one else, if they select these buttons, can modify other people's stats if they haven't claimed the character, so it is independent for specific players. Now let's get into the fight. So right now I was testing it, so there is a fight that has occurred, so I'm just going to say fight stopped, or fighting ends. Okay, I guess it didn't understand that one. Oh, hold on. Everyone, I think it's everyone use the fight. So, I'm still working on specifically the language understanding. The bot will reply no if it doesn't understand things, but essentially what it does is it will manage a fight. So I can say fighting begins, fighting starts, words like that. Great. So a fight has now started. I'm going to say different people join it. And it can say various types of nicknames for these characters. I can misspell their names, things like that, and it'll add them to the fight. It looks like it didn't pick up Destiny because of the misspelling, so I'll just say Destiny joined the fight. Okay, so we have a few characters that have joined the fight, and we can now have it to where specific characters can interact with each other in different ways. So I can say this will calculate an attack damage, and it'll figure out, okay, this character just got hit. Not only will it figure out attack damage, but if we look at Arya again, we can see, okay, she has a weak spot of her lower back. So if I do, we punch her lower back, it'll say, hey, you just hit a weak spot, you're now having more damage. If you hit something else, it won't pick up the weak spot part, it'll just treat it as an attack. Additionally, there's magic that's involved, so every single character has different types of magic. So let's say Arya uses a type of magic she's not familiar with. because she doesn't have mastery. Grass magic to attack Cam. We can see that the damage was really low because of the low amount of mastery. Let's see what Destiny uses. So we can say show Destiny. Okay, we can say fire magic to light Cliff on fire. And we also have types. So depending on the type of magic that other people use, for example, if I do show Cliff, you'll see that he uses specifically grass magic. So when he gets hit by fire, it's going to be more damage towards him. Health is also the same throughout even when the fight ends, your health doesn't go back up because it's going to be retained throughout various parts of the fight. You can do things such as heal specific characters all the way up to the top if you really want to. Same with manual damaging. So if the bot happens to make a mistake, you can control it to have very specific changes in health. There's also some calculations for figuring out things such as electricity or like slowing down characters. So let's say Garm shocks Cliff's arm or legs. So here it just figured it out as an attack, but if I say Garm shocks Cliff's legs to slow him down, it'll also increase with certain effects. If I say Garm shocks Cliff to blind him, it'll also give certain types of effects. If I just say something like Arya makes a bright light to blind everyone. Okay, I do Cam makes a sandstorm to blind everyone. That one would work. I have to do some more fine testing for specific individual magic types, but this is the idea where sometimes you can create AoEs using this or have general things occur. If I do fight status, it'll show what's going on, who has what, who slowed down, things like that. Cliff is no longer slow. And we can tie it to like remove these aspects from different people. And that'll basically update the fight status. And we can see what occurs because of that. And it's just a way to track it. There's nothing that goes on stat-wise with these types of status effects, except for one particular one. For certain characters, they can create bleed damage. One of the ones is bird-like creatures in this. So one of the characters, Shiro, is a bird, so he can stabs Cliff with his beak. And it'll create bleed damage. And this will occur through turns. And this will track through turns as well. If we do... and if Cliff gets mentioned again, for example, I can say Cliff kicks Arya and uses wind magic to knock her back. Here it says that, okay, Cliff has attacked Arya, but if I do Arya punches Cliff, now it's like the opponent's turn, the bleed damage will occur. There's sometimes certain phrases where you can use where it will calculate both damage and magic, but I'm still fine-tuning and testing it. So I believe some of the examples is things like Dan uses... So here we have an attack where it uses water magic to do the attack. It also allows for actual physical punching, so it's the actual fight part. And that's all calculated with both magic mastery of the percentage that's applied to it, along with type effectiveness, any types of species resistance, and anything if there's also weak spots. So things like Cam punches Cliff in the throat. It'll specifically know, okay, Cliff's weak spot is his throat. This has an additional weak spot of damage. That's what occurs. And it'll add that to the part. There's also things such as making shields. To protect like oneself or other people. Okay. That was not the intended use case. Here. I think to protect is really used a lot in the learning model, but a shield's now created. So if someone goes up to attack him, the shield itself will take the damage and it'll slowly go down. We can also see this in the fight status. In this example, I am trying to demonstrate how it can do both magic and fighting information. So it would be the magic damage and the physical damage based on multiple posts. So here it'll basically figure out the entire fight. And additionally with things like weak spots, bleed if it was in previous turns, how it gets reset, things like type effectiveness as well. And here we can see for this one, it's Yami throws a punch at Ben in the face and Dark Slash at his stomach. So when it's his face, it's a weak spot. When it's his stomach, it's just dark magic, it's different kind of damage. For Diane, it's getting a fire explosion at Yami's back and kicks him in the chest, so those are two different things as well. Same with Shiro using a beak attack, and also lightning. So the lightning here, and then the beak attack, as well as the consideration that the species Altus prevents certain kind of physical damage from being taken in. Then we can see things like poisonous gas around his head and kicks him on the side of the torso, so that would be grass magic, and then a physical hit. Next one is a physical hit, and it's going to be a physical hit with her own fist and a metal fist that she made with her magic, so that would be considered to be fire magic in this fight system, and physical attack here. And then last we have a claw, along with impaling a shoulder with a ice spike. So that would be the physical attack and then a magic-based attack. So yeah, that's pretty much it, working best as it can. This was data that I did train it on and had to work with it a bit, but because it's trained on this data and a few more things, words can be messed around with, played around with, and as I continue to expand more on it, it'll become better. But yeah, thank you for watching.